Now continuing with my other Christmas movies, I just first reviewed National Christmas Vacation, which is a Christmas classic. If you have not seen it, please feel free to check it out. I really recommend this film. But now my next one here is The Polar Express. So yeah, Polar Express. Now, to start off my history with this film here, this movie came out back in 2004, and I remember seeing this movie at the Bob Bullock Museum in IMAX 3D, which, of course, yes, I am familiar with the book by Ernest Van Allsburg, and yes, I know this film was directed by Robert Zemeckis, who also directed the Back to the Future trilogy, which I've just reviewed if you'd like to see them. And, of course, it stars Tom Hanks in it. And the story of this film is about this one boy who is wanting to hear Santa's sleigh, especially he doesn't believe it's Santa Claus, and then this magic train shows up, and then the conductor just asks him, well, you're coming? Where? Why, to the North Pole, of course! This is the Polar Express! And when I saw it at the Bob Bullock Museum in IMAX 3D, it really was, dare I might say, it's an experience. This is definitely a very wonderful experience. So I really love the Polar Express. And today, does it really hold up after all these years? Well, let's find out. But first, I need to tell you the backstory. In 1999, Tom Hanks read the book and he was able to option it so that this will become a wonderful motion picture. And he was pledging to be not only as a conductor, but as Santa Claus. And of course, I know that both Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks both starred in the film called Forrest Gump together, as well as Castaway. And then he just said, hey, you want to make this film? Robert Zemeckis was like, sure, why not? And of course, while Zemeckis agreed to make the film, he chose the film to be entirely motion capture as opposed to be filmed in live action because he thought it would look awful and impossible to make it, as the film would have cost like $1 billion instead of $160 million. Which I know that when people saw this film, and they were like, why couldn't they do a live action in the first place? Which, I don't know how, but maybe it would have been interesting how they do a live action, but I'm perfectly fine with what it is as a motion capture film. And while Tom Hanks does all the motion capture work, especially he also did Hero Boy, the character of Hero Boy itself was also voiced by Daryl Sabara, forgive me if I forget his name wrong, who was well known for playing Judy Cortez in the Spy Kids films, and there are some additional mocap for the Hero Boy character, but played by Josh Hutcherson. And the film itself made its debut at the Chicago International Film Festival on November 7th, and it was able to get a wide release on November 10th, 2004, as the review itself, it really wasn't the most critically acclaimed film as it was for the timing. It was pretty much more mixed, as it only earned like $162.7 million while grossing $286,505,000 worldwide against its $165 million budget. So not really much of a big hit when it came out. And the film itself actually did earn 3 Oscar nominations for sound mixing, sound editing, and best song, I believe. Although the song was given to The Motorcycle Diaries, whereas sound mixing was given to Ray, and sound editing was given to The Incredibles. So, looking back at this film, I still really love this movie. This is definitely one of my favorites. Although I will say, of course, while I'm happy having this film on Blu-ray here, the 2D experience, it's good, but although when you want to see a perfect experience for the Polar Express, I pretty much recommend you watch this film in 3D, because to me, when I saw it 3D, it was the best 3D experience I ever had, because it just feels like you really are on the Polar Express and you're going on this ride here. The one thing that stuck out to me when I first saw this in IMAX 3D was the scene where the train just goes pretty fast, doesn't know when to slow down, and then of course when the conductor takes one of Hero Boy's straps on from his robe, and then of course he told everyone to hold on tightly and just excuse me. It's like being on a roller coaster ride. So and that's what this movie is. Even though it's not very much of a character-driven movie, but it's just a movie you just like to experience that you're on the Polar Express. And it really did feel like experience that you're on the train, that you're looking at all these places, you're having hot chocolate, you're going on a roller coaster ride, and you're on your way to the North Pole. It's just like you just want to go there. And I get the experience. I mean, sure, yeah, the characters are not really fully three-dimensional, but I think the closest you ever get to when it comes to having a character arc is definitely the Hero Boy himself. Which, of course, I know it's very odd that none of the characters have actual names other than one character who's named Billy. But I thought all the characters fit well for their personality, as you have the Hero Boy, who's wasn't sure about Santa Claus. You have the hero girl who's always being optimistic what she's doing. And you have the know-all kid who always likes to say things a lot as if he knows what he's talking about. And you have a boy who wants to assure who to trust and who can count on. And I thought all the kid actors all did very well, especially for Tom Hanks, who is fantastic, who does the dad, Santa Claus, the hobo, and the conductor, as well as some work on Hero Boy. I will admit, though another thing that's a little critical to the film is that the first get this out of the way, the motion capture over around 15 years, or just 15 years, it still was impressive, very groundbreaking for the time. And I do remember when I was watching this movie with my brother Jonathan, he said it kind of looks like Pixar's early days of CG animation. Especially, this was a new saying, but they hadn't before realized it. And he was right. And what I mean by that is, it's not because of the clothes that look more realistic and the backgrounds and all. Those to me and Jay, they were all the best about this film. It's just that he was a bit iffy on the actor's facial expressions, and I can see that. Where there are times in the film that look like they are giving an emotion, and there are times that are not. But I can forgive the film for what it is, that this was just a brand new thing, especially when technology gets better and better, it will be better, especially that it wasn't fully realized yet until what we have today. Because there's always like pushing the envelope for better technology. And I thought Zemeckis really directed out of the park, and he really knows how to point the camera and knows how he wants his camera to go and how the animation to be, and it definitely is a very groundbreaking achievement of animation. And I thought the story is very well told, and it doesn't go sidetrack and this and that. It just gets the plot going, and while the film itself, for the most part, it really is very faithful to the book, but it does take some creative liberties, especially like the hobo character who was not in the book at all. But especially when I remember when I was watching this movie, I always thought that he was going to be the bad guy, but especially he said seeing is believing. But as the more I watch this film and the more you see what Hobo does, he really isn't that bad guy after all. So I think that it was very refreshing to see a film that you don't even need a villain. There's no need for that. And I thought Alan Silvestri rated a very good score, especially the and you do get some musical numbers like the hot chocolate scene, which I thought was a lot of fun. And one song in the film where the kids are singing on a train about Christmas, and then the song called Believe, which is played during the end credits. And it really has a nice message about when it comes about the true meaning of Christmas that always lies in your heart, especially to those who really believe in. So it really is a fun film, especially to those who understand kids and to challenge them about what it is about Christmas, especially to those who really do believe in. So there's not much I can say about Polar Express, but it's a great movie. And when you watch this film in 3D, to me, that film is an A+. But without the 3D, I would just give it an A. But nevertheless, it still is one of my favorite Christmas films, and I still love it to this day. And I really have no problem looking back and getting back on the Polar Express train ever again. And honestly, I would like to be on the train again, because the Polar Express is a fun train to go on. And as what the guitar says, it's not about how you get on, it's about when they get there. And that's actually really a good, valuable lesson. Especially each of the kids in the film, when they got their tickets, they always learn a valuable lesson about how to learn, to rely on, and to count on, and depend on, as well as leading the way, and most of all, believe in yourself. And that's why The Polar Express is a great Christmas movie, and I love it. So, once again, the 2D version, I give it an A, but the 3D version, to me, I just give it an A+. The technology, I will forgive some parts for the facial expressions, but nevertheless, it still was an achievement. So yeah, I really love the Polar Express. So, it really has a nice heart to it. Especially if I need to see any other Christmas film that has a heart to it. Like Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, and this. And hey, even A Christmas Story as well. So, but yeah, that's Polar Express. So now, what are your thoughts on the Polar Express? And also, let me know what you think of this video. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. Feel free to put your comments down below, and don't forget the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Take care. And stay tuned for one more Christmas movie that your life is about to be wonderful.